So I figure, why don't we go through what he did to be so beloved? In 1973, he got his first job as Rich Buckler's assistant at Marvel. And in 1975, he got his first job drawing the Avengers. He then went on for the Avengers for 5 years, 1975 to 1980, until DC poached him for the JLA. Right. He went on and worked the JLA until issue 200, when he then went on to do the New Teen Titans. The New Teen Titans is one of those books that he is fondly remembered for, along with Marv Wolfman. This is a book that featured Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Cyborg, Starfire, and Raven, and Beast Boy.
Yeah.
Changeling. This book, as Jeff mentioned, introduced several adult themes for teenage readers and matured the line of comics in a way that made it feel more relevant and adult to a burgeoning audience. Jeff, you talked about how Titans, what it meant to you. Do you have anything more that you wanted to add to that?
The characters in that run that he created, I mean, Slade the Terminator. Enough said. Just it's politically incorrect to say now in some ways, but Starfire was just pure sex the entire time. I mean, and that's pretty much what just
she and Robin, that's all they wanted to do.
T&A the entire time, and you're just like, my God, what am I reading here all the time? But it dealt with it in a comedic way, and sometimes it's still very funny where it's like, well, she's playing the Spock character from Trek, where it comes down on her. I don't understand these customs. My people are just naked all the time and sleep with each other. It's just like, okay.
That's cool.
The Wonder Girl relationship and just how that was drawn and everything, it made them come off much older than they were, to be honest with you, but it's one of those things where it's like, you almost view it as a May-September romance type thing in the book, but like the Art and Judas contract, which is still one of the best runs in that thing, was so great. Again, the themes, I'll hammer this again because, again, along with X-Men, books were just doing, villain of the week or intergalactic threat. They weren't dealing with real. I mean, they'd occasionally have a very special episode, like certain sitcoms and stuff like that. But they went in on it. They went in on Speedy's drug use. They went in on Raven's depression. They went in on, I'm trying to think of another one. Even
Kid Flash had the self-confidence and quit.
Kid Flash had, Changeling had issues with Mento, his dad.
Tara's 15 and sleeping with Deathstroke.
And sleeping with Deathstroke. So creepy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Something that you cannot get away with. And in fact, they actively edit out that whole subplot within every time they do the
And they put it in there to make Deathstroke a creep. I mean, really, they did. I mean, and how he was mentally grooming her and things like human trafficking. That was another one that they did as well. I mean, and this isn't a comic. It's still fun at times. It's still a superhero comic. It's still great. And Wolfman and Perez were just such a Perez on the Avengers and when he was on JLA, he feels like he's a gun for hire. When he's with Wolfman, they feel like a team. Okay. And that's what I always viewed it as, because, and also that's probably where I came in on the fandom as well. But I mean, I was going to tell you this before the show, and I decided to hold it for. I didn't realize he created the Taskmaster in the Avengers, which is one of my favorite characters prior to Civil War, where I'm going to go train a bunch of heroes. Okay, great. But him as a mercenary, I absolutely adored that character growing up. And, you forget, and of course the Slade, the Terminator look is such a great look for a character. I mean, just the half and half mask and the way that he drew his movements and the fighting and stuff. I mean, it made him the baddest ass villain in the DC universe.
In a business where redesign is like critical. Slade has had essentially the exact same design since like 81, something like that. Like it's been 40 years and there's been minute changes to what the character looks like. It's like perfection
even
out of the
mask.
get-go.
Even without the mask, he looks like the most
awesome.
badass grandpa ever with the silver fox thing and
the silver patch.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's amazing that he's imitated and never duplicated because Liefeld even used him as the model for Deadpool. If you look at it, Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson, it was a literal copycat of an assassin with excess powers.
And DC tried to do it with Prometheus as well. You know, everybody was trying to recopy the same formula, but no. I mean, even Taskmaster in some respect and Deathstroke are kind of the same character in some ways.
Well, they're designed like this. They're I think they're designed right around the same time because he was actually doing some stuff on Avengers while he was drawing Teen Titans. So I mean, like his brain was certainly locked into a certain mode.
They wanted to do the same story with the
you got to double dip a couple of times to hit these deadlines.